So welcome back from that short interlude, everyone. Some chaos has ensued in the standings. Both of our leaders lost, and we now have a new leader in David Koenig by 8 spread points. And any of the top 5 can still mathematically win.
I would have still been 2 spread points behind if he didn't challenge the last play.
There we go.
Yeah, this is really close here, yeah.
I won a division once by 2 spread points. No. I've no idea. I don't know about recent events. But anyway, we are going to have the tournament leader on. Finally, he's not refusing to be streamed. But it can't. Lewis has. In earlier rounds, he has, but he can't stop it now. But yeah, so it's going to be. If you can see from the browser source there, it's going to be Koenig and Andronowski. So we will let the players begin, and I will leave you in the capable hands of Calum again, and I'll see you at the other end.
Hello. Just waiting for a picture to appear here. Very, very tight. I'm still not getting the feed in front of me as yet, but we have got David Koenig, Piotr, Andronowski, and we have 5 players that can still win this tournament theoretically. There's 3 players on 16 wins, which are these 2. David Koenig is in 1st, Piotr's in 3rd, Lewis Mackay is 2nd place player at present. It's still possible for the 4th and 5th place players to win, though, which Wazim Khatri is in 4th at the moment, Phil Robertshaw is in 5th. So Wazim is playing Lewis this round, and Phil Robertshaw is playing Orla Judge. And David has a bonus on his rack, Origane, which plays for 68. He's played that. Piotr, his rack is not looking so good. He's got 3 O's, which are not going to be too helpful. I'd be tempted to maybe change 3 or possibly play off a couple of O's. He's not going to be able to score with this rack, so he may as well just play off a couple of tiles, I think, or possibly the change. And David's 2nd rack not looking as good as his 1st. Looney for 12 is possible. Lunia for 14 is possible to get rid of a lot of tiles. Lunia is the play for 14 for Piotr. He's had a complete clear out, which might, it's possible to have a bad or a good pickup after that. We'll see which it is. David has this early lead. He doesn't have a very good rack now. I'd be looking to get rid of some of those duplicate tiles. WERE are probably the tiles I'd be looking to get rid of if I could. There's a possibility of W playing were, making OR and RE on Origane. Doesn't score very heavily, so I'd be looking for other options. He can't really play up around Lunia. So he'd only score 14 if he plays were at 9D. It may be the best move for the rack, though. Just getting some choices. Oh, Wiener for 34 from K5 down, or Wien for 28. I would prefer Wiener of those, I think, because Wien leaves the duplicate. The moves from K5 down, Wiener or Wien. Wiener leaves the duplicate. Sorry, Wien leaves the duplicate. Problem with Wiener is it does leave an S hook. So the possibility of a high score there. But I don't like Wien because EERR potentially quite bad. Newer for 18 is not bad. I think I'd sacrifice a few points here, maybe. Although a wee for 27 at M3 is not too bad. There are 2 hours gone already. Newer is the play, leaving RRE. Oh, no, RE. Leaving REA. So it's the best leave he could have given himself. Piotr has an interesting looking rack. I'm not. There might be something there actually. I'm not going to hypothesize on that just yet, but I'm going to have a look at it. It's ringing a vague bell, that rack. Nothing, no 7, but a carpus. It was nearly opacus. I think that's what was. That was the only possible 8 with that rack. Dave. Okay, I'm hopefully back, and the picture has just returned. I just was disconnected there, but back on now. Looking at Dave's right, retax from H1 down might be reasonable. Does keep the V, which he may not necessarily want to do. But the score is pretty heavy for that, 48. Trade for 38 if he'd rather keep the X than the V from the same spot. I think trade might be a good play. Retax is the play though, and Piotr has this incredible rack of Q, Y, Z, F, O, C. He's got a ZO play from K5 down for 44, and he would hold the scoring potential of the QU. He could play Quiz and Zax from F2 down, 32, 42, 52. That's 61, I think. And Zoic plays 70, and that is the play. Zoic for 70. I think that would have been quite close with Quiz and Zax. He has kept the QU, which is not a bad combination. Generally, when I'm looking at rack leaves, if you have the Q on your rack, you'll be looking to get rid of it, with the exception of when you have a U. You might consider keeping it if you have a U to go with it, and that's what Piotr's done here. He's played a 70-point play, kept the QU. He's picked a blank as well. David Koenig has thieved on his rack. Looking to see if there's a place for that to play. I can't see one. And having consulted Ziziba, that's one of those racks that doesn't make any 8s. He has a 7-letter play there, but there's no 8s. He can play Hive for 52 down from H12, and that is the play. He's played Hive down there. Piotr has this rack with a Q, a U, and a blank. He could play something like Quiff and use the blank for 60. Am I getting the maths right on that? 40? No, 50. He could play that Quiff 4 using the blank at M1 down. He may want to hold on to that blank note. QUA would score 32 from J6 down, but I'm not really liking holding the 2 Fs. Quaff 32 Queerish for 58 plays onto the ish that's already on the board, using the blank. Most of the high scoring plays here use the blank. QUA might be the best play for 32, holding the blank. There's not a lot in it though between that and Queerish, I don't think. Quiff or Quaff. Quiff I've already mentioned. Quaff plays in the same place, M1 down. That's a difference of 26 between Queerish and Qua. Very close as to whether you use the blank there or not. I think I'd play Qua. I tend to err on the side of wanting to score 30 more if I'm going to use my blank than a lot of players recommend 25. You can score 25 more by using the blank than keeping the blank. So, but my view is I'd like to be scoring 30 more probably, so I'd play QUA, I think. Double F is not as bad a lead as a single F. I'm sure I've read that somewhere. I think it may well have been in David Webb and Andrew Fisher's book. So I don't know whether that's quite a few years since that book was published, so I don't know how current that information is, but the thinking at one point certainly was that holding double F was stronger than holding a single F. We have a simulation going on in the background here, so hopefully that will tell us something. And the simulation suggests that QUA is the best move. Queerish is way down on the list. I'm not sure why it's advocating A double F for 49 is interesting. There's a hold. FE and Ish has been played, and FOU. I'm presuming that the hold is on Ish, which is a word. Hold, sheesh, Ish, says Jessica. And there's a challenge. So Ish has been challenged. I'm just trying to think what goes. Okay, I'm hopefully back. I haven't got the board in front of me at the moment, but hopefully you can hear me. I disappeared again for a moment, and hopefully the board's going to appear any minute now. I'm getting the blue Microsoft dots flashing, and the board is back. Yeah, Ish just takes an L in front of it. David Koenig has got D's. Diddy plays from M2. Quackle choice is coming up there. I'm not quite back up to speed there after that brief deconnect. Yeah, Diddy for 37, Tiddy for 35 in the same spot. And I hate to go on about it, but I'm guessing that I mean just a little bit about that lovely rainwater on glass effect that I've been getting at times, which is very nice to look at, but makes it difficult to see the board. But I can see it. I can see it well enough to see the board, and I can just about see the Quackle options on the left. I think that's just interference being caused by the link, possibly the Wi-Fi at the Nottingham end. So Diddy for 37. I'm frozen here. I don't know whether I need another disconnect. Okay, hopefully you can hear me again now. The screen is back in front of me. and Teddy has been played in the meantime. I can see that on my screen. Apologies if anyone can hear some noise in the background, as well as the technical issues. Somebody is playing their car radio outside at a nice enough volume for us all to be able to hear it, which is incredibly considerate of them to us all to hear, so that we can enjoy it too. So Piotr has the Q, he has the blank, he has an L, so he could play down from that, from making leash and something else, but it doesn't look to be anything too heavily scoring there. Be nice to see some choices on this one, because I'm trying. He's still got the possibility of QUA for 32, and that is the play, QUA. So he's holding on to this Q and U combination. David has an interesting rack there. I'm not sure of the bonus potential of that. I don't think it. There's nothing leaping out at me. He could play Demoy from K2. It looks though he might have played Medii from K2. I am wondering about something. I'm not going to say it out loud. It is not good what I was thinking about there with Piotr's rack. I was briefly considering refueler, but that's no good. The only possible 8 with that rack is refueled, but there's no D to play onto. And no 7 with that rack. So I need to start thinking about what he can play, not what he can't play. M3 down, FE, 26. It's not inspiring mainly because of the leave. He could play FEE from M12 down for 27. He's still got the possibility of leash, but doesn't really have a play onto that double letter score at the bottom. FEE looks all right to me from M12 down. We have a very sort of a downward dominated board here. Most of the plays seem to be moving in a downward direction. There are not as many plays going across the board. Oregain does. That may be the only move that's been played across the board. So Fee has been played by Piotr. He's 14 behind in this crunch game. David Koenig has Hoagie. I don't know whether he didn't finish it off at lunchtime, but he brought it into the playing area with him. He has an O and an A with that. And an American sandwich, I would say that is. If I was to try to give a definition for it. Does it play? It's a tough rack, this, on this board. Something like Yag from J1, but that leaves a problem with duplicate O's. He's got some He's got too many duplicate tiles here, really. Oya is a possibility, but that still is duplicate A. Oya making key, Quay. This is hard work with this rack. Looking around all the available, oh, that's a nice one. I hadn't seen that. Qua hog from J6 down. Just putting hog on the end of the qua that is already on the board would score 38 points. It would leave a horrible rack of AAOY. Yoga seems to leave the best lead. Yoga at J1, which, yeah, I should have been seeing that. I saw Yag up there. Yoga at J1 is probably the best leave he's going to give himself. But those extra 14 points for Quahog might be worth taking. Hoax for 28 is a possibility. And Hoax is the play. That to me leaves too many bad tiles. Now Piotr's rack is looking interesting and not necessarily in a good way, but he does have that blank. No 7s and no 8s with that rack. Lulu for 26, yeah, that's brilliant. That should help sort that rack out a lot. He's been helped. He's had that L for a couple of racks. He's had that leash play available to him, and he's eventually found something to play there for it's a decent dump of tiles. That he's got rid of some bad stuff, and also scored with it. And he has a very good rack now. David Koenig's rack is clunky. He's got 3 vowels on it, but it still seems clunky because of the consonants on there. He's got J from 4D across. That would be 36. Jota is a possibility for 36. Sorry, for Jota would be 26. I would favour J quite heavily over that. Gadjo for 29 at 4B. I like J. J scores 36. Leaves GOAT. There's lots of options being suggested by Jessica here. My consideration here is I don't want that Y. J will score 36 and it will get rid of the Y. Aguti for 30. That's a nice play. That's the play. Ooh. I'm hearing a shaking bag. Taj has been played, so he's kept the Y. Score on Taj is 34. I'm not sure about keeping that Y. Possibly with the number of T's still to come. And possibly the scoring potential of the Y. I don't know. I'm not sure why that play. Must be a bonus here, I would think, for Piotr. Retailer is a possibility. That came up in a game earlier. There are probably other things. Lomia would be a possibility from that A1, but it would put the blank on the double letter square, which you wouldn't want to be doing. Retailer is the best score probably, and probably the best play, I would think. Yeah, I'm having some trouble looking. I'm just skipped back to the Twitch feed, and I seem to be well behind on that. Yeah, looking at David's rack. Yeah, so Piotr should play Retailer here probably. Okay, Just getting a note from Jessica there. That's fine. Yeah. David Koenig's rack looks interesting, but there are actually no playable bonuses there. Having consulted with Zizifer, Piotr should play retailer here. There are other bonuses available. Calorie for 69 from N7. Aerolite at 2A is 68 points. O'Leary's from 7A is 61 points. But I think retailer is the best. It's the best score. It's in a reasonable position. I can't see past that one really. Yeah, the one possible 8 that David would have with his rack. There's no possible 7s. The one possible 8 that David would have would be pedagogy, but I can't see the right floater for that. So we're just waiting for a play to come down. Retailer seems to be the play for 74. That's confirmed. Yeah, so pedagogy would be the only available 8s with this rack. I'm looking at something like yoga from J1 down. That would probably be reasonable, I think. I was a bit surprised that David Koenig held on to that Y. Ys are not generally recommended as being a good tile to keep. I'm not sure the thinking behind that. Maybe he was thinking of keeping a scoring tile. He used the J, which is a good scoring tile. He may also, as I said before, he might have been worried about the amount of T's that were still left and wanted to get rid of one. So they have a blank each now. Jip for 37 is a decent play here, and something has been played. Yag has been played. Well, that opens up another part of the board. C13 down Yag. There's a possibility now of Raya there. And just waiting to see the racks in front of me again. I can see David's replacement rack. Sorry, not Ryu or AU, AYU or RYU. Piotr has too many consonants. If he had a floating eye, he'd have smirting, which was, and Caillou, of course, he's been pointed out by Jessica for that hook down there. But if Piotr had an eye, he'd have the possibility of smirting, which was new in the last dictionary update. It's not you can't have smirt, you can only have smirting, which is talking to people whilst smoking outside of buildings, apparently. So if you're smoking a cigarette and talking to somebody outside of a building, you are smirting, but you cannot smirt. Anyway, let's see what you can do with this. Apparently, Jessica's suggesting it might be a mixture of smoking and flirting, quite possibly. So this is, I seem to be saying it a lot. This is another tricky rack. Struggling for options here. He needs to get rid of consonants. He might want to hold on to the one vowel he's got if he can. I'm looking to see if there's a clever little play somewhere that you can get rid of a couple of consonants with and hold the vowel. Something maybe Gam 7 F across. But given the game situation, it's very close. Ming for 35 at N11 down, or Term for 22. I slightly favour Term, I think. 13 points is a lot to turn down. There's a 13-point difference between Ming and Term. But Term, he's holding an S. He's creating an S hook and he's holding an S. SIRNG is quite strong. There are only, Jessica is pointing out, there are only 5 vowels unseen, so term might be a better play here. Ming is being played for 35. He's taking the points there and hoping to pick some vowels, at least 1 or 2 of them. He does yeah. It's a tricky one there. David's rack, Privado. I'm thinking Privado for David Koenig, using the blank as an R. That's the first thing I've seen there. I don't know whether he has anything else from that rack. I don't think I'd be looking for anything else, to be honest. I think Privado down that O line. Yeah, Privado for 90 is the only play. It's the only bonus play with that rack. So, and is that Privado being played? Privado is played and committed. Is it going to be challenged, I wonder? Piotr might be thinking that 90 points is a lot of points, and might be just worth a look. I don't know. There's a hold. So Piotr is holding the move. Privado is good. Looks like a challenge, maybe? Or are we still on hold? Just waiting for confirmation on this. It's either going to be 90 or 95. It's going to either put David 60 or 65 ahead. It's put him 65 ahead. There's been a challenge and 5 points, 95. Piotr has 7 consonants. I'm only seeing 1 winner here now, I think. Not nearly enough tiles. Just waiting for David's rack to be replenished so I can see exactly how many tiles are left. I'm not sure whether the unseen's counting what's left or what's... Yeah. In any case, I think David is a strong favourite now. Okay, so there's 2 in the bag. David is 65 ahead. AN in the bag. Piotr, of course, doesn't know that, but anything Piotr does here is going to lose. Brent for 7 is the play. He's just got rid of some consonants. He couldn't do much more than that, really. David has a play of elk available. He could play ukes from M1 down, which would score pretty heavily. 1, 5, 9, 10, 38 for ukes in that position. Be pushing himself up towards 500. I'm just looking to see if I'm not sure Piotr can play out with what he has. So ukes from M1 is the highest scoring player available. No, Ibet is the highest scoring player available, but it leaves a clunkier rack. Ibet for 44 from 15L. It does leave a much clunkier rack. I'm looking to see if there is an outplay after ukes. I can't remember which spelling of bat does not take the S. I think it's BHAT, but doesn't take the S. So if he plays ukes, he would be able to play out with BAHTS, I think. Yeah, BAHTS is valid. It's BHAT that does not take the S. So ukes for 40 leaves an outplay that might get blocked. Oh, Jessica's waving her cursor to say that Tusk is being played. Is that right? Tusks is on the board, so TSKS is on the board. This will be good because it leaves Webb on his rack, which he could play at 3C. Just looking around to see if Webb plays anywhere else. Evil Budgie suggesting play Webb above Taj, and then you have Tusks out in a million places. Yeah, that's yeah. A million is a lot. Jessica's saying. I think Evil Budgie may have overestimated just how many places Tusks does play out in, but it's one or two. So 3C Webb would perhaps be the best play. I'm not seeing where else Webb plays, so it's going to be better than Tusks, I think. I think Webb only plays in that one spot. So we're still waiting here. Webb's for 23 is Championship players top suggestion. Webb's for 23 from 6B. That would leave Tusk at M1 down. Skews appears to have been played. So Skews at 6A is the play, leaving BT. Okay, I'm not quite sure about that. It does set up a play of bet. There's belt possible from 3J. So he's got outplays, but has he given anything to Piotr here? He's got bat as well from 7F, David. Piotr could play Nats for 18 from M1 down. He could play Ants in the same spot. He's got Stain, STANE for 17. He's lost the game some time ago, but he can, and he can't play out. He can't play out on this move. But his best option here is to score 18 points with Tans or Ants. I say some time ago. It was just a couple of moves ago. Apparently, David has just said Skews was a dumb play. So he's not happy with that one. And that he lost spread on it. And spread could be incredibly important in this tournament. It's very tight. So we may discuss this on open mic afterwards. They reckon that Tusks was best. They haven't finished the game, but they're discussing the game. No harm in doing that if they've both got time on their clocks and they're playing and they're playing in private. They're away from the rest of the players, and they're so Ants going down from M1. Yeah, very occasionally a game descends into conversation before the game has actually finished. If the game's been decided and both players have time. Tab for 11 or bat for 11 is David Koenig's play here. He'll be annoyed with that loss of spread because it's very, very tight in this tournament. We'll hopefully hear what some of the other results are in a minute. David Koenig 4-8-3 to Piotr Andronowski 4-0-2.
I'm scoring a ton of that in game if I just played Tusks and hold Webb.
Yeah.
Well, actually, Webb wasn't the best play. I did the championship player sim, and it liked Webb's, actually, where Skews is, because Tusk goes here.
Oh, Urk. That's a nice spot for Tisk.
Hmm.
So I think between the two players, that scores the most.
Well,
Tisks and Web can't be
That
far
far
No,
behind.
because Web. The thing is, Web is only playable in one place.
No, Web.
right here.
Well, when you were playing Tusk there.
He's saying playing
Oh, yeah,
Tisk down
play
here.
Tisk. It's
Yeah,
like your
but
first
that
one.
still didn't sim best. Because Web's.
It's not about our simming. It's about
Whatever
scoring.
scores the most. Yeah, raw score from the
This
two
is
moves.
Well,
the,
see,
the
Webb's
computer's
was-
not doing a sim when it does this. It is actually calculating out the end game in full.
Yeah,
But
Web's is.
it's math, and it's easy to math out. I just sloppily thought he was holding 4 tiles instead of 5.
Yeah, Webb's is 23, and I can't remember what. So Webb's is 23, and then what Tusk's is what 37, I think it was.
That's 16. Was there anything better than Retailer? I couldn't get
No,
anything to
Retailer
fit.
was the best.
I couldn't
Retailer
get anything
was
to
the
fit
best.
in there, which was annoying.
My number's 4. Your number's what?
6.
6. Let's see.
Was refueler a word?
I don't think so.
I had refueled.
Mm-hmm.
That would be Fairy Wool something.
Yeah, like triple E.
402, 81.
Mm.
If Lewis managed to lose, then I may regret having coughed up the spread here, because then one of you guys has to beat me and catch me on spread.
Yeah.
I had some interesting choices there. With the Fs, what were people saying? I had double F, double E, Q, U blank.
Yeah. Qua simmed best until they got challenged, and that started simming best. I think with the challenge, it simmed best.
I mean, I obviously didn't like keeping F, E, Q. But
Yeah, but I think
it scored a shitload of points. I mean, if I had an A, that would have just been killer. Did you have something there?
Have what?
Did you have something there?
I don't think so. What did I have at that point?
No, it didn't. I had Teddy DI.
Oh, that was Teddy, yeah. Actually, no, you really actually were very lucky to block me when you played Fee. I had Yahoo here for a massive score. HOO.
Well, that's when you ruined my refueler.
Yeah.
Refueled, sorry.
Just ruining each other's plays.
Yeah, if you just hadn't done that, I would have played refueled and then you'd get your Yahoo.
Well, there's maybe some other things as well. Hoax was nowhere near best, I think.
Why's that?
Because it just didn't get rid of enough of the clunk. I think yoga.
It wasn't about getting rid of the clunk at all. It was about trying to score over several
Yeah, but
turns.
there's yoga and there's
I think the computer
Quahog.
is completely wrong here. You should not trust it. I know better than Quackle does in that position. Hoax is actually a very good play. Let's score the exact same. The reason is
Quahog was
I'm
nice
holding
as well.
Yag right here, and I'm also opening up a spot for high point constants to score right here. I know he's got low point tiles, I've got high point tiles. I'm creating a board where the high point tiles are going to keep scoring.
Well, at least you can actually say that for the stream, so that's nice. I can't sim everything because otherwise it will crash my laptop. So
Was Ming the best player?
it was between Ming and Term or Germ.
Yeah, I thought about Germ, but
And
then but then I'm thinking, well, it's
I'm
obvious.
gonna have to shut the door here.
Then it's obvious I have an S and I'm trying to fish, and with those four ends unseen.
No, the thing was there was only 5 vowels on scene from your point of
Yeah,
view.
I know, but then there was a shitload of ends,
Yeah.
and it was like, well,
Well, you're only playing 2 tiles as well, so you're not going to pick a shitload of ends.
exactly.
So,
I don't know.
I think Term over Germ and
Well, Germ was best, wasn't it?
Term, because, I mean, it's TRINS
Trins versus
rings. And the thing is, because there's so few vowels left, I think rings will fit better with a 1 vowel pickup. I think.
Pleased to find out.
I mean, it also went through the other R as well, but I'm guessing you didn't want to put the S on the triple line.
It didn't go for that.
Yes, it did.
Oh, it did. Oh,
Oh.
I thought it didn't fit.
So you just missed the better play for a
Well, no, I
couple.
just thought it didn't fit. I thought the R was too
Would you have done it in the other place?
maybe.
I mean,
No, it's
Dave would have
really-
still got taxes onto it.
Yeah. Hey. Fuck. Leaving the important games.
It's not my fault, is it?
No.
I'm cursed.
Well,
Yeah.
Dave's pretty damn good. What, he took like a
That
year
as
out
well. That as well.
last year to study Scrabble? I mean, Jesus, I do 2 minutes a day there while having coffee. That's all I do.
I don't do any minutes in a day. That's me. But no, I just watch a load of games, and then I just pick up the words by watching. I can't pick them up through like Seraphim or Zizra because it's just too boring, and I can't learn when I'm bored.
I have to win this last game. This is ridiculous. It's second in tournament for no reason.
I'll just close the mic now, and then open the closed mic.
That made no sense, did it? My open and closed mics. But Calum, you're still there, right? Because I've turned all the mics back on, and it looks like Lewis lost. So Dave Koenig is with 1 round to go. Lewis will need to win the final game by, can I do maths here, 165.83. Lewis will need to win by 83 points to become the BMSC champion, otherwise Dave Koenig will be the BMSC champion. Ooh. So we are now going to have a break for around 20 minutes because because we expect there to be like a ton of nail biters. And yeah, wow. Poor Lewis. Lewis has had a terrible final day. If you look at the little red L's on the enhanced scoreboard, we've had 6 rounds today so far, and Lewis has lost 5 of them. You know, from being in a very, very commanding position, being able to maybe even get Gibsonized, Lewis is basically gone from hero to 0, if that's even possible. It doesn't matter. We all get riled by plays. No, I've got the enhanced scoreboard up if you wanna look. Lewis lost. So he needs to win by 83 versus you to be champion.
Okay.
Mhm.
Jessica, can you hear me there?
Yeah, I can still hear you, Calum, in the stream.
I'm going
Can
to
you-
disconnect again for 15 minutes.
Yep, fine with me.
So I'll be back before it starts.
Okay.
Okay.
So yes, David Koenig just said there he may live to regret all the lost spread points in this game if Lewis comes back to beat him by 83 points in the next round. Who do you want to win? Piotr's in Lewis's corner. We just want to see Dave Koenig tilted. Yeah, so I mean you have like a complete outside chance of doing it. You need Dave to lose and you need Lewis to only win by a few, and you have to completely crush whoever you're playing. I don't know what's going to happen. It depends what. Yeah, Lewis has to play Dave, yeah. Because it has to be 1 and 2, because it would be so unfair for Lewis if it paired Dave with you. And because their spreads are much closer as well, so you still have an outside chance though. But because Phil's spread is quite low, it may... Yeah, but he can't overtake you at all. I don't know, I think you'd end up playing Wasim because you have the bigger spreads than Phil does. Because Phil's spread is so small, it will probably end up pairing him with Alan, whose spread is also just as small. Yeah, yeah, it takes spread into consideration. So it's like even if you're only like 1 win and like 600 spread points ahead, it will probably think that's insurmountable. Even though there have been 300 spreads here, it will just consider that over a certain number of spread it's insurmountable. I mean, most of the time it will still pair together, but sometimes it will see it as that way. Hopefully you're still improving and you're not going to drop off with age like some people do. Anyway, I will turn off the mics now because we have 14 minutes left until the next game is scheduled. So I'll leave you to stare at the enhanced scoreboard and we will await Dave Koenig and Lewis Mackay in here to determine the winner of BMSC 2017.